Now y'all done seen this man. We're not going to pretend that this man has not been airing me out and embarrassing me for the past 6 months. Now, if there was not understanding between he and I, y'all see me sit up here and take a bunch of L's and apologize and really try to work toward my marriage. And
Tamar Braxton is a grown woman, nearly 50 years old, so no, I will not look at her like she's some young woman that's misguided. She's 47 years old. Maybe the youngest Braxton sister, but she's definitely not young and far too old to be going through what she's putting herself through. Yeah, Tamar Braxton played herself for the 50-11th time. I'm talking about this embarrassing situation with Colonel Sanders that was filled with red flags from the jump. And all of this is the culmination of years and years of her delusional fans viciously defending all of her antics. It's the same script every time. It's like whenever Tamar was crashing out or making dumb decisions, they just rolled with her. And not only did they ride, but they went so hard in the paint defending all this foolishness every time. According to Tamar Braxton, she allowed herself to be in this embarrassing situation because Colonel Sanders was more than her boyfriend. She said that he was her husband.
At that time, we were very much married. Very much married. So I am thinking that, I am pouring into my marriage that is troubled.
Yeah, her 46-day husband. She didn't tell you that part though. They always leave out details so everyone can blindly follow and defend them. Court documents told the full story. They got married this year on February 4th and separated 46 days later on March 21st. Jeremy, her husband, filed for divorce officially on April 5th, less than 2 weeks after their separation. As an attorney, he didn't waste any time getting out of this marriage. He filed his own paperwork and got Ms. Braxton served. Not even 60 days into this marriage, Jeremy Colonel Sanders was ready to sign them papers. We're going to get into it, but first, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates.
Like, people have seen us out. People seen us at your favorite restaurant. Yes, we have been quote unquote living apart. And I guess you want to say single where we could, date other people and see what's out there. But you clearly told me you wasn't with nobody. You clearly told me that you are emotionally unavailable and you just hitting whop and won't.
Listen, most of you probably have underwear older than this silly problematic union. Tamar Braxton met this guy on a reality TV show, Queen's Court, where she was looking for love with 2000s R&B singer Nivea and another problematic woman, Evelyn Lozada. I don't know who's worse at this point, Evelyn or Tamar. Tamar, she's had at least 4 engagements, 3 of those turned into marriages, but both of them are walking red flags. So I'm never surprised when they meet their match. But the Colonel proposed to Tamar on the show in March 2023. They broke up 7 months later. That's the time she went on the radio talking crazy about men and relationships, aiming her energy mostly at black men.
I'm not doing that. I think that is classless and tasteless, and I don't think you consider me much.
Who comes up with this?
What makes it tasteless? Who came up with let's go half? We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
We ain't talking about
that.
I'm
not doing that.
I'm talking about.
It's corny. It's corny.
You had that happen to you?
What?
Atlanta
is a very
So I got a rule though, Tamar. I got a rule.
Got robots.
When you talk,
minutes, robots.
When she was the one dumped by a white man in Atlanta, who happened to be the biggest pookie she had never been with until she met him. He's got like 5 or 6 kids from multiple women. She was running around acting like his kids belonged to her, like they didn't have a mama.
Because I love my kids, I love my family.
She didn't even know this man or his children long enough to be trying to step in and play that role. Of course, this caused a lot of drama that Tamar is used to being in the center of. She was being super toxic. She claimed that he didn't make more money than her either.
No, I've dated men who made less than I. Yeah. JR.
It's like all these standards she once had no longer existed for this one guy, yet she was on the radio talking about how black men could meet her standards. It's crazy, by the way, I broke that video down then. You got a law degree pookie who she was just tricking on with 5 kids from multiple women. Once again, her delusional fans propping up this relationship as if Tamar Braxton finally found the best. How was he the best? I don't know, you tell me, because they did the same thing when she was with the man before, who was from Africa. When she first got with David at a festo, the same delusional fans were saying that she got the best man because he came from a different culture. Then all of a sudden, when they broke up, they did a complete 180 and blamed him for everything. When it was Tamar who was super out of control, but all of these fans defended her through that whole situation. It's pretty clear that Tamar Braxton, she's got some serious issues that no man will ever be able to fix. She's in need of serious mental help. And quiet as it's kept, Vince was the best choice for Tamar. But Tamar's spoiled, childish behavior will make it difficult for any guy to deal with. So Tamar and the Colonel broke up in October 23, just months after their engagement on that reality dating show they met on. Then a month later in November, the Colonel was spotted out with Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee from the reality show Love and Hip Hop, Tamar's enemy, by the way. And I still can't get over this. Out of all people, he chose to lay up with Tamar's enemy. The only person that could have been worse than Tommy would probably be K. Michelle. But Tommy and this guy hooked up. Everybody knew about it. They didn't hide it. They went to a very public Atlanta Hawks game, and just in case the cameras didn't catch them, Tommy made sure she posted it herself. Tamar got jealous and wanted this man back. So stupid. He was laid up pillow talking to her enemy about her, telling all her business, saying that her tour that she was bragging about on the radio a month before, it was all cap and it wasn't going as well as she was hyping it up on the radio. He said way too much to this woman and shared too many bodily fluids with Tamar's enemy to ever talk about reconciliation.
And I know y'all lying. If y'all thought I was gonna let my man go because he took some backhand to a basketball game, while we was broke up.
And from there, he was thirsty. He wanted to fly me out. What's wrong with me going to a game? What is wrong with the situation is that is your man, as you call it. That is your man. He knew it was a situation with me and you. And he was down. He was down to play op games. I wouldn't take nothing like that serious, my love. That ate my ass. And I sent him on his way. It wasn't the, middle class house that he lives in Atlanta. It wasn't the Bentleys, because I drive a Rolls Royce, that got me. It wasn't, the slick part thing he got going on. It wasn't none of that. It was when he paid for the Waldorf and points, I knew that I could no longer play this game. So it was a one-night thing. JR, you never want to play with me. You don't want me to expose how you were saying that you kicked her out and she went back to her mother's house. Not Mrs. Braxton, not Mrs. Singer with the sold out tour that JR also told me was flex. It was cap. It was she flexing. She don't have no sold. That between me and you was his exact words. The tour not sold out. He said you was messy. He said you went back to your mother's house. He told me a lot of things that he shouldn't tell a stranger. I just met this man less than a week. Love, if that's your man, as you say, then you need to check him. You need to really check him and check your situation and really see if you're sleeping with the enemy or not. I am not your problem.
When he broke up with Tamar the first time, she should have walked away gracefully, kept the last piece of dignity that she had left. But no, she had to go back and get her man.
If y'all thought I was gonna let my man go because he took some backhand to a basketball game, while we was broke up.
Yeah, she said that out loud to her audience on stage. They got back together by the end of the year. Again, this is still the same year, 2023. It's been so much going on. It sounds like they've been together forever, but all of this is literally weeks apart. Crazy. Yeah, they got back together. He proposed again. The two quietly applied for a marriage license on the 1st of February, 2024. This was less than 90 days after the embarrassing debacle with Tommy Lee. They officially got married on February 4th. But that secret marriage did not last long because the Colonel filed his official complaint on April 5th, telling the court they separated on March 21st, just 46 days after the wedding. Behind the scenes since March, April, Tamar, she's been begging this man to reconcile. She was trying to work it out with him, but he really didn't want her. Every couple of weeks, she'll send out a new message on social media about being lonely and single. never revealing that she married this guy after he dumped her the first time, which should have been the last time. And now take it even further. Honestly, there never should have been any time because they shouldn't have been together in the first place. You're Tamar Braxton, right? Why are you so desperate that you're going on a reality TV show to meet some clout chasing Pookie? Any man doing all that for the cameras is a red flag. 5 children with multiple baby mamas is a red flag. Proposing he only knew you for a couple of months, if that, is a red flag. He literally dumped you twice and didn't want you anymore. Then during the first breakup, he got with your enemy and did all kinds of stuff with this woman. That was 10 red flags.
If y'all thought I was gonna let my man go because he took some to a basketball game.
She basically tried to get back with him to get back at Tommy Lee. Like, girl, how? That's not even her man. You're hurting yourself more than you're hurting her. I'm sorry, Tamar looked like a bigger fool in this situation. You let him and a woman get under your skin so bad that you started tricking and begging more. Listen, I gotta say it because nobody's gonna say it. The Colonel was clout chasing, that's why he got with Tamar in the first place, yeah? But Tamar was only with this guy for her self-esteem. She's been insecure about white women going back to when she was with Vince. And that's part of the reason why she's always wearing this white lady's hair. She's a 100% black woman obsessed with blonde hair. Getting a white man to look like he was worshiping her, well, in her eyes, that was good for her own self-esteem. And not just her self-esteem, but the self-esteem of her delusional fans who told her she finally got the best because she was engaged to a white man this time. When Colonel Pookie was not better than the men she had before. He just wasn't. He had too many children and baby mamas to be taken seriously. Well, she should have worked out her own issues a long time ago and figured out how to deal with Vince. I think Vince is the only one who really had patience with her. Obviously, his patience ran out because Tamar is really unbearable. She can't get along with anybody, her family, friends, women, or straight men. That's why all of her friends are gay men. It's a reason for that. Tamar once again was trying to work it out with the Colonel and save face. She went with him on a birthday trip recently, got him an iced out chain and a presidential. She came out on social media telling her own business that he was using her credit card. He was tricking on a 25-year-old woman while she was tricking on him to lure him back, but it didn't work.
My credit card being used. Now everybody knows that let's not play stupid, okay? I don't go to bookings.com. I don't even really kind of know, what that is or what's that about, right? I use my physical card. If I do reservations, it's through, I have a touring company, so we have our own travel agency. And so I'll go through that, or I'll go through my American Express, right? And I didn't say he cheated on me. I said you played in my face. Because the truth of the matter is that you were supposed to be here for me, to show up for me on Sunday. And you didn't do that. And just like I told him, this gotta be a two-way street, boo. I can't show up for you and you don't show up for me. That can't happen. And so you decided to extend your trip and didn't say anything to me in New Orleans. And then I find out I didn't even say nothing to you. Now, let me know if hotel policies have changed or not. They will ask you, would you like to use the card on file, or is there another card? Y'all, I'm not trying to make this a big deal. I swear, it's not about, y'all, it's $1,000. It's not, make or break. It's the point. The point is that you wanted me to sit back and let you not only use my card. Let's just say it's a mix-up. Okay, fine. But now it's different because you're using my card for your extracurricular activities. And let me just keep it gangster. I wouldn't even trip on that.
Made it seem like he was cheating on her, when in reality, sounds like he made sure it was after he dumped her. The Tommy Lee situation didn't happen until he dumped her the first time. Still, it was definitely out of order to deal with the enemy of your ex. Straight up diabolical, and that should have been enough for her to move on with her life. But no, again, she needed the Colonel for her self-esteem. That's why it didn't matter how bad of a look it was. She somehow convinced herself that she really liked the idea of having this guy. And then remember, the last breakup was 6 months ago.
You know, I initially was going to take the high road in this situation and not say anything. But the reality is I cannot keep getting attacked. My character can't keep getting attacked. I can't keep being thrown under the bus because someone can't control their anxiety. And someone can't control these delusional thoughts about things that aren't real. I am in no way wanting to attack anybody. My purpose in my life has always been to protect. I haven't ran to social media every time something happened to me in that relationship. Because trust me, with all the receipts and all the things that have happened, I could have. But I've chose to do what a real man does, and that is protect the person that I've been with. In this situation, I'll be very clear. I've been single for the last 6 months. We have been trying to identify what that looks like, closing one chapter and figuring out what it's like to be friends again. I've been very specific about my boundaries. I've been very specific about where we stand as friends. Go date anybody you want. I'm gonna date when I'm ready. I am emotionally unavailable to you, and I'm physically unavailable to you. Now, birthday comes up, plans are put in place. Of course, I want someone that I consider to be family to be involved in that, because if anybody knows her, she is big on birthdays. I don't lead people on. I'm very direct. Listen, if anything that you're doing or that you want to do comes with an agenda, I don't want to be involved in it at all. I don't want you to be involved in my birthday plans. I don't want you to come to Turks and Caicos. This is not a reconciliation time. Whatever you decide you're doing is because we're friends and because I'm still being involved in my son's life. I still would love for you to have a relationship with my children, but not to the extent that you make up these stories that aren't real. I went to New Orleans. I booked my room at Four Seasons on booking.com and didn't realize that the card I'm using, which also ends in the same 3 last numbers, was tied to something that we booked several months ago. No harm, no foul. We're talking $900. Stop it. While I'm in New Orleans for a funeral, my really good 25 plus year friend who passed away, I spent time with his family. I extended my stay because I needed time to reset. So I get a call yesterday. Hey, did you stay at Four Seasons? Yeah, I did. In fact, I extended. I gave them my card and everything's good. Why, what's up? Oh, well, I got a call about some chick who used my card at Four Seasons. I said, that's not possible. This is funny. Ha ha ha. What are you talking about? Well, I thought we can friends. We can talk about it, but this is laughable. I didn't stay with anybody at the Four Seasons. I'm not seeing anybody. Wasn't on a date. None of that. If I was, you're my friend. What do I have to hide about that? I'll just say cooler heads didn't prevail, and next thing you know, I'm on her story and I'm being accused of things which are just blatantly not true. I have never led Tamar Braxton on. I never will, nor will I. There are people, hate the name drop, but hey, Carlos King, you got me involved in this. You're part of the reason why we became friends. But I've been very clear about my boundaries. I've been very clear about wanting to have a friendship, but not to the extent that, friends don't throw each other on their stories and call each other out on stuff. Like, look, if there was a mix up with the card because of booking.com, that's a quick fix. It's already taken care of. I've already contacted Four Seasons and they've already issued a refund and they charged my card. It's that simple. Where did this random woman come in that you called a tramp? Somebody I became friends with on Instagram like maybe 3 days ago. It's just a reach, and I'm tired of having to stay quiet and not defend myself. Mental health is real, and I understand how sometimes anxiety can get the best of us, but you just don't go on social media and start attacking somebody you say that you love, that you care for as a friend, and then you post pictures of you and my daughters together, but then you're throwing their dad under the bus. it's not cool, man. And the unfortunate reality is I thought that I could be friends and try to maintain some type of friendship, but that relationship is done. And I didn't want to come out and like 6 months ago and be like, hey, I'm single again, because then people are like, oh, you're sassy. What? This is the reason why I did it last time, because of this assumption that I'm leading somebody on and that I'm cheating. I have never cheated in my life. Find a woman that will tell you I cheated on her. I'm not successful because I cheat. When I'm committed, I'm completely committed. Now, I'm not going to go there. There's a lot more I could talk about. I'm not going to do it because this isn't about revenge. This is about saying, hey, wait a minute. This shouldn't have happened. Picking up the phone and talking calmly and saying, hey, Jay, I got charged on my card. You stayed at Four Seasons. Okay, cool. But then you had to find a random narrative to go with it. It's messed up, and the truth is now there's potential defamation behind it because I don't even know this person, never met her in my life, never even had a DM with her. Again, here I am defending myself.
Wow, nobody's going to say it, but I got to call it like it is. Tamar, you are really out of order. Tamar is the one who aired all this stuff out on her IG stories first. Made it seem like he was cheating on her when they hadn't been in a relationship in 6 months. Since before he filed divorce, she knew he was on this trip for a funeral, but then twisted the whole story up on purpose. From my understanding, he's from Louisiana, so that's what he was there for. Then she knew it was a mix-up on the car, and it was fixed. Yet she came out on social media and caused all this commotion. Listen, this lady got on IG and called him a PDF file. And white people may not know this, Colonel Sanders learned the hard way. Toxic black people will call you the worst name ever. It's called a PDF file. They will run and tell everybody this about you. Both toxic black women and toxic black men will repeat this garbage with no evidence. I'm telling you, the worst name ever, just to tarnish your character and reputation because they don't like you. They will say it over and over on purpose to ruin you, then laugh about it. When truly inappropriate, degenerate behavior like that is no laughing matter at all. I'm talking about zero integrity. Then people like her will say God is on their side when they're really the devil. Anybody who will do that, that's devilish behavior. She called that man a PDF because she saw him interacting with a post with a 25-year-old woman on social media, and then never came out to correct herself. She'll allow everybody to run with that. Very disgusting. And sir, stop calling her son your son. You've known them folks for less than 2 years. Her son is not your son. He's got a daddy. And your son and daughters don't belong to her. They have mothers. Stop playing these stupid games, getting these kids confused. And you're absolutely crazy if you allow your daughters around this unhinged woman. Something should definitely be done about that, because obviously you have horrible judgment if you think it's okay to allow them to associate with this woman that you've been separated from for 6 months. We're not talking about somebody that's been there their whole lives. You literally knew her for about a year. So yeah, when the mothers of your kids say Tamar has done nothing but cause chaos with them and your children, I believe them 100%.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Tamar was faking like she was surprised about the divorce when she knew this process was ongoing since April. Buying jewelry for this man didn't change the fact that he didn't want her. And in my opinion, he never really did. I think he liked the idea of being with a famous reality star and R&B singer, but once he got around her more, I think he quickly realized that he didn't really like her. That Braxton name, a career, a couple of dollars wasn't enough to keep him around because none of that ever matters. No, not to a man, unless somehow you're being used. And then even then it comes a point when using you isn't worth the headache. That's why he's been dumping this lady over and over, and she's always running back begging for him. If only she put this much energy into healing herself, she would have still had her family with Vince. No doubt about it, the Colonel was not clean. I think it's something dirty in the buttermilk. But Tamar is also 100% toxic. And at nearly 50 years old, it's way too late in life to be still acting like an 18-year-old. People always say, oh, he embarrassed her. Why Tamar let him embarrass her? Tamar embarrassed herself. Braxton should have never gone on a reality dating show in the first place with some clout-chasing contestants. We're talking fake rush proposals. That's how you get a 46-day secret marriage. Tamar was talking about Tom and Lee had a drug problem. Well, Tamar, she's got mental issues herself, and she's always running to the internet wanting to gain sympathy and to gather all the same delusional toxic fans to defend her after telling all her own business and getting mad when people talk about it. Tamar Braxton, please get help. I'm not even saying it to be funny. Seriously. Your family is toxic. You're toxic. Even if the right man showed up, it won't work until you fix the problem with you. You have serious issues and the problem is always everybody else except for you. And I don't know who's supposed to fix it at this point because the best flamingo whisperer was Iyanla. But even Iyanla couldn't do nothing with you. And that says a lot. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Why did Tamar allow herself to get into this situation? Let me know what you think about this below. Shout out to Roland C. I appreciate you, Roland, sponsoring these videos, helping them get out. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.